Now we begin with alarming new details surrounding the Chinese spy flight and the scope of Beijing's surveillance operation that are raising concerns about our national security. We're getting new images showing federal agents poring over the remnants of the spy flight as the U.S. continues efforts to assess just how extensive the device's surveillance capabilities were. Sources confirmed to Fox News that the craft had Western-made parts with English writing, although it's not clear if the writing was discovered before or after it was shot down or in the wreckage. Now, yesterday, the State Department revealed that this Chinese spy craft shot down by U.S. fighter jets was likely capable of listening in on Americans' communications and pinpointing the location of those conversations as it flew across America. Officials say it was part of a fleet that had flown over more than 40 countries and across 5 continents. Now, that is a far cry from China's claim that, oh, it's just a weather balloon. But President Biden downplayed the incident in an interview with Telemundo, telling us it's nothing major.
It's not a major breach. I mean, look, it's a violation of international law. It's our airspace. And once it comes in our space, we can do what we want with it.
However, members of the president's own party, including Montana Senator Jon Tester, whose own state was visited by the spy craft, are furious.
What China did last week was completely unacceptable and a real threat to American sovereignty. China is a real threat and one we need to take seriously. We are holding this briefing today because American public deserves to hear from the Department of Defense, not play politics with our national security. I do not care who is in the White House. We will always do our job and we will always provide oversight. This administration owes Americans answers not only on what happened this past week, but on what steps they're going to take to ensure that this never happens again.
Kennedy, that hearing did little to assuage lawmakers of both political persuasions and also the American public, who has only more questions, especially in terms of why and how the president reacted the way he did.
Yeah, and I have to share his frustration and Senator Lisa Murkowski's outrage, because she's like, this thing flew over my state. You didn't do anything about it. They could have shot it out of the sky over the Aleutian Islands, which is what a lot of people said. And the fact that they let it go for, what, another 8 or 9 days, just continuing floating, sucking up information. And I love that the president is downplaying that, because, you know, that's just his MO. Doesn't matter if it's inflation, immigration, Chinese espionage, infiltration of our country, whatever it is, he downplays it. And this stuff is a big deal. And we shouldn't be lied to. There should be transparency, but there also should be urgency. And he shouldn't get a pat on the back for being so irresponsible, letting this thing float through the country over sensitive military sites. And God knows what kind of information they sucked up.
We actually have a video of Senator Murkowski's comments, Kennedy. I'm glad you brought it up. She said the second it went into our Alaskan airspace, it should have been shot down, let alone the rest of the country. Let's take a listen.
As an Alaskan, I am so angry. Alaska is the first line of defense for America. It's like this administration doesn't think that Alaska is any part of the rest of the country here. To get to the United States, you've got to come through Alaska. Seems to me the clear message to China is we got free range in Alaska, because they're going to let us cruise over that until it gets to more sensitive areas. Tell me where the sensitive areas are.
Chris, I loved the senator's comments for 2 reasons. Number one, she articulated exactly the issues that Americans had, which is, why didn't you do something that the instant it violated our airspace? Who knows what they surveilled during that entire time? The intelligence they gathered was clearly worth it being shot down to them. And secondly, she talked about feeling unseen. How clearly, because of the president's response, the cavalier attitude he had over especially Alaskan airspace, that somehow Alaskans must matter less. And to me, that's a hallmark of this administration, where most Americans do feel that they matter less to this president.
Well, I think the visceral reaction is warranted, obviously. That there's a lot of emotions going on with this, but I think this is symbolic of a much larger issue related to the geopolitical competition we are in with China, and uniquely how this competition ties into every major issue we debate in this country, whether it's technology or education or immigration reform. When you look at technology, reports show that China actually is aggressively outspending the United States in technology. We reacted with the CHIPS bill that was just passed with a $280 billion legislation. When you look at education, you know, President Biden actually made a comment, he quoted his wife when just at the State of the Union, when she said, you know, a country that out-educates us, out-competes us. Well, guess what? We're being out-educated. We're 38th in math. We're 19th in science. We're 13th in reading. Guess which country is number one? China. Russia actually is outperforming us in mathematics. So education is critical to national security. And then you look at immigration reform. The flaw in the Chinese system is that the IP of their geniuses belongs to the government. That doesn't happen here. The IP belongs to you and it belongs to me, and it creates competition, and we can actually grow and thrive and create jobs. But that has to be a focus. We've got to keep talent here. And you can't do that when you've got an immigration system that doesn't allow geniuses with student visas to stay and work in this country. They have to go into a lottery. This is all intertwined. It's a time for choosing. We've got to wake up in this country and make some decisions for national security.
I love that point so much, Julie. You know I'm a Raiders fan, right? Now they're in Vegas, but I cheered for them as a cheerleader when they were in Oakland. And we have a saying now. It says, what happens in Vegas started in Oakland. Secretary Pompeo wrote an op-ed where he talked about exactly the points that Chris just made. That of all of the statements that President Biden hit in his State of the Union, education, manufacturing, everything in the U.S., immigration, the list goes on. Everything, the red elephant in the room was that China usurped every single thing. That the reason we were flailing behind in all of those areas, the reason we are dying from fentanyl by the hundreds of thousands, et cetera, it's all because of China, but he failed to address that.
I love the fact that Murkowski did address the fact that they ignored Alaska. No big deal, it's flying over. I would like to know what the reaction would have been from the White House had that Chinese balloon flown over the White House. Because if they are able to actually surveil and listen to conversations, that means that they're intelligence gathering, and that's classified information, which I know is a bit of a sore spot in the Biden household right now, or in his garage. But he could have possibly, you know, given information to China if they had flown over the White House. Do you think that they would have done something then? And also, it's interesting to note that the Army Lieutenant General Douglas Sims, he told his Senate panel this week that we think before we shoot, and in this case, we thought before we shot. What is there to think about? I couldn't believe when I read that they actually thought about it and they actually made a conscious decision that it's okay. And for him to say that it's not a breach, I mean, it's violating international law, which he also said in his same breath in that interview, talking out of both sides of his mouth. So if it's a violation of international law, China is not our friend. I don't know if he's caught on to that just yet. Then how is it that you just allow it to float around and think it's no big deal and not a breach?
Geography and science really matter, too, in that decision, because you talk about Alaska, that's not taking into equation so many Americans, and also our frontier, what's protecting us. And if you don't think that a balloon like that can capture data, guess what? We're sending 800 weather balloons worldwide every day at the cost of tens of millions of dollars in order to capture sensitive data. And the balloons that we send up, or weather balloons, are so much smaller. In fact, they are about 6 feet wide, and the Chinese balloon was 90 feet long, 3 buses long. And so the kind of sensitive data that we get out of radiosondes with weather balloons are temperature, humidity, pressure. These are things that we capture from the atmosphere from a radiosonde device. If you have other types of technology in a much bigger balloon, what are you actually capturing? How big of a message are you able to take back with an airborne device like that? Technology really matters in a situation like this, because if you have a big balloon, you have the opportunity to take big chances with it, and somebody else hesitates, all of a sudden, they've captured something and we don't even know what it is.
Yeah, you're right, Amy. Technology matters, as does the response of the United States. I hope next time we'll be stronger. Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.